الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our du'as, accept our prayers, and a reminder to myself and everyone here, please keep in your du'as all those individuals who are in need of shifa, all those individuals who have passed away, and may Allah grant those individuals Jannat al-Firdaus. We ask that you also keep the following individuals who are in need of shifa in your du'as: Sister Aisha Adam, Brother Bilawal, Brother Farhat Ibi, Dr. Mehtab Ahmed, Brother Mansoor Quaider, Brother Nasser Ilayshi, our beloved young son Zain Yusuf, who's battling cancer now for the 4th time. May Allah give him complete shifa, give him ease, and give patience to the family, inshallah. Please don't forget to bring your youth for our youth night, monthly youth night at ICIE, at Coffee and a Conversation, the 20th of the month, for this month specifically. So please, we're looking for young adults to attend this conversation, so please bring them by. We have an event coming here at ICIE. It's taking place on April 28th. It's a one-day-long, all-day symposium, which is being led by the Muslim Family Foundation. We want to really emphasize this event because the topics that are going to be talked about in this event are the exact things that our community needs to hear about. Whether it's family counseling issues, whether it's talking and addressing issues in the community such as homosexuality, how to deal as a parent with our youth who are so entangled in the social media aspect of today's world, and at the same time, from a youth perspective, how can we speak with our parents on the issues that matter most? There's going to be medical professionals, there's going to be psychologists, there's going to be world-renowned speakers as well, such as Sister Marwa Azab, who is a specialist on this. It's going to be an all-day symposium here at the masjid, and there's going to be a banquet dinner that concludes the evening. So once again, we need our community to come out if we're going to benefit and grow as a community. If you want more information, please stop by the office. We'll show you the speakers, we'll show you the flyers, and inshallah we hope for a good turnout. Tickets are only $15 for this event, and nobody will be turned away if they cannot afford the ticket. So once again, next week, Saturday, April 28th, for more information on that event, stop by the office. Access California will be having a mental health conference on April 29th at the Delhi Center in Santa Ana. The event will start at 10 o'clock. ICIE is having a general body meeting on May 6th after Dhuhr. Please mark your calendars. You must be a member to attend this. If you want more information, stop by the office. ICIE is now offering a second khutbah, which is focused on bringing the youth to Jummah. Alhamdulillah, at 3:30 p.m. on every Jummah, we have a second khutbah, which once again is geared to the youth, but everyone is more than welcome to attend. So if you have youth and they get out of school late, please try to have them attend this khutbah, inshallah. Fajr Club every Sunday, there'll be a khatira and some exercise activities available for those that wish to attend. Don't forget Sheikh Ahmed Al-Kurdi's continuous class on Wednesday evenings after Maghrib. Take advantage of the live stream if you can't make it over here, and visit the YouTube channel ICIE Online. Ansar Academy offers an after-school program that accepts students from ages 6 through 12. Takes place every Monday and Wednesday, 4 to 6 p.m. You can visit the Ansar Academy website for more information. Please consider to join the $1 a day program if you haven't. And last but not least, our khatib for the week, alhamdulillah, is Sheikh Mustafa Umar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله عز وجل في القرآن المجيد: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. صدق الله العظيم. أما بعد. We begin by praising Allah. We praise our Creator, our Sustainer, the one that we would not exist if it was not for Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, and we seek His forgiveness for all the mistakes that we've made throughout our lives. And as Muslims, we declare that nobody deserves to be worshipped besides Allah. And we declare that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last and final messenger that was sent for our guidance and for the guidance of all humanity until the end of time. Respected brothers and sisters, technology has developed to an extent that we're able to send messages in the blink of an eye from one part of the world to the other. NASA just launched a new spaceship or a new satellite to go and discover different planets throughout the world and throughout our solar system. And we find that with this technology comes ease for means of communication. And there's many different ways to communicate with people. Not only telephone, but we have email, we have instant messaging, we have text messaging, we have all sorts of things. And one of the popular platforms that you find, one of the most popular platforms for communication is an app called WhatsApp, which many people probably are using, even in the audience today. According to WhatsApp, there are 55 billion messages sent each and every single day. 55 billion messages. And there's 1 billion videos that are shared between other people on a daily basis. And what ends up happening though, with this means of communication, it's a blessing from Allah, but it can also be a fitna or a trial for people. Because the more we communicate, the more potential there is, the more room there is for making mistakes, saying bad things, and causing problems. And one of the things that I've noticed, even on a personal level, and many people have spoken to me about, is the type of information that gets shared via messaging services like email, WhatsApp, and other means of communication. So let me tell you one message I received very recently, within the past year. Someone sent me a message, and this message had a specific incident that happened. The message was, it said, I'm going to quote it to you here. It says, here's a video. And this video is a video of a Hindu girl who was burnt alive in Madhya Pradesh, India, because she attended a Christian church. And then it says, send this video around, please. This video must go viral. So what's happening is there's this video, right? And it's better, not to click on these type of videos, but I wanted to verify its authenticity. So I looked at it, and it's actually a girl being burnt alive. And it looks like people who have kind of a little bit darker skin. So you read the story, and you go, this is happening in India. It's happening because of Christianity or her desire to attend a Christian church, and the rest of the story, that's part of that video. But then when you do a little bit of research, you realize that this incident, the video is a real video. It's not made up. It's not fake. But the incident is from May of 2015. Sent later, but it still keeps on circulating. And if you go and you check some reporting sites, which actually did a little bit more detailed analysis of this, one of them was The Independent, which is a newspaper in the UK, which is a little bit better than the other, media that exists out there. And what they said was a completely different story according to their research. They said this incident happened in Guatemala, not in India, completely different part of the world, in Guatemala. And what actually happened was, this had nothing to do with Christianity. It had nothing to do with Hinduism. It had nothing to do with attending a church. What was happening was, in Guatemala at the time, and perhaps still happening, is that in the rural areas, in the villages, people stopped having confidence in the police department because there was too much bribery going on. And people who were, gang members and, crime syndicates, they were controlling the police. So the people in these villages decided, we're going to take matters into our own hands, and we're going to patrol our own streets. So there was an incident where a taxi driver was killed. The taxi driver was killed by gang members, and this woman was the only one from the gang who was not able to escape. So the people of the village surrounded her, started beating her up, and actually lit her on fire as punishment to the gangs and the crime bosses that are happening. Now, justified or not, obviously not justified. But look at the difference. From India to Christianity, to attending a church, to blaming the Hindus or the Muslims that were burning her alive, to Guatemala, to crime syndicate, to police not being trusted. You got a real video, but you got a completely fake story. And that's problematic. It's very problematic because you know what that means? It means that someone, most likely intentionally, made up the entire story, took a real video and made up the entire story in order to spread either propaganda or just cause misinformation. And we live in a world today where we have fake news. We live in a world which we call post-truth politics. We have all of these things going on. And we as Muslims have a responsibility to not fall into this trap. But unfortunately, many Muslims fall into it. And that's what we need to be very careful about. When it comes to issues that don't directly affect us, it still affects us. As a Muslim, we need to be careful. But when it comes to spreading information, false information about Islam as a religion, or something that's going on in the Muslim community, that is even more dangerous. And that's when it becomes more problematic. So when we look at certain instances that we get certain videos, I receive these things on a regular basis because I'm an imam. And what people do in the community is they come to imams for family issues, family problems, children are not listening to me, all of those type of things. And we also get Islamic questions, and we get verification questions. I got this email. Is this true? I got this WhatsApp message. Is this true? Is this what Islam says? Is this really happening? So we get all these things. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you today is just one of the messages that I got from many different Muslims in the community. One of them was a McDonald's sign. And the McDonald's sign said, "Our coffee contains French fry grease, and which may be derived from pork lard. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you." So it's a sign. It's got a McDonald's logo on it, and it's just a sign sitting there and it's a picture. So what do Muslims do? They immediately get this and they start sending it out to all of their WhatsApp friends. They start emailing it. They start telling in social circles, in a gathering, and they're like, did you hear that McDonald's coffee contains pork? Basically, there's pork inside the coffee. Not the fries, not the burgers, but inside the coffee. And there's some people who like to drink McDonald's. McDonald's may not be the best chain to support, may not be the healthiest thing for you, but there are some people who just drink coffee from McDonald's. Now, is this true that McDonald's was putting pork inside their coffee? I know there's issues with other products at McDonald's, but in their coffee. This thing was a hoax. It was made up. And if you look at the picture that's made up, it's so easy to make up something like this. I'm going to tell you how simple it is, so that you can do it, so that you can understand that anyone can do this. You just go to the McDonald's website, you right-click on their logo, you save the image as a file, go into Microsoft Word, type it up, put the McDonald's logo in there, print it out, and then go and put it in front of any random store and take a picture, and you send it out with this fake story. And you will get a ton of people, Muslims included, who will go and circulate this thing in the entire community. And this is very detrimental. And this is something that we've been warned about in the Quran. So we need to be very cautious before we make mistakes or we do things like this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hujurat in the Quran, He says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. O you who believe. Speaking specifically to the Muslims. You need to listen up. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. If an unreliable person comes to you with some information, فتبينوا. Verify it. Make sure it's accurate. أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة. If you don't, then you might actually afflict a group of people out of ignorance. You might hurt them, you might harm them. فَتُصْبِحُوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ. And you will be regretful over what you've done. Let's analyze this verse in detail a little bit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if somebody who is a fasiq usually means a disobedient, sinful person. But in this context, it doesn't just mean someone who's committing sin. It means someone who's either unreliable or, according to scholars of tafsir, somebody who's unknown. You don't know who the person is. And if you look at most of these messages, you don't know who the person is that actually did the research. They don't tell you, so-and-so took this picture. Who took the picture? Who recorded the video? Who reported the story about Madhya Pradesh and this Indian place and all of this stuff? Where did this all come from? There's a source, but the source is not revealed. So the scholars of tafsir, they say, according to this verse, if the source is not revealed in the information that you're getting, it falls in the same category where you have to tabayyanu. You have to verify that information where it's coming from. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues and He says, what's going to happen? Why do you do this? أَن تُصِيبُوا قَوْمًا بِجَهَالَةٍ. You will afflict a group of people. You will harm them in some way. Tusibu comes from the word musiba. Many people know in Urdu musibat, in Persian musibat, and musiba in Arabic. What that means is it can mean like a calamity, a trial. You will harm people if you do not verify that information properly. And then it says bijahalatin, out of ignorance. You can sit there and say, you know what? I didn't know any better. I thought it was real. I just forwarded it along. But what type of harm can you potentially cause? You can cause a major type of harm. And you can afflict people, and there's more than one harm involved. You may think that, you know what, big deal. Someone doesn't drink a McDonald's coffee. It's probably better for them. They saved a little money. They could drink higher quality coffee. Whatever you want to say, right? But there's a greater level of harm that results. And I want you to think about this, because I have people complaining to me in the Muslim community, particularly younger people, who are saying that when we see our parents and our uncles and our family members sending all this fake information back and forth, do you know what ends up happening? They lose respect for those people. And those people who are supposed to be mentors in their lives, in an age of skepticism, radical skepticism, what happens is they not only start questioning your ability to filter out information, but they start questioning the other things that they've grown up being taught. And that includes the religion of Islam, being a Muslim, the importance of attending the masjid, the belief in Allah, all sorts of other things. What happens is we already live in a very skeptical society. We live in a society already that challenges religion and spirituality and the afterlife, all of these things. It's already questioning them. That's the way our school system functions. That's the way most of our society functions. So what we need to do is we need to realize that the potential harm is not just limited to spreading information about one store or one restaurant chain or something like that. It's actually much greater than that. It actually causes a harm in the mentality of people. And if we don't recognize the potential harm that can actually exist due to this, we will become in the state exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. فَتُصْبِحُوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ. You might go back and regret the decisions that you've made by not verifying that information that you should have verified in the first place. And you get so many things. I get things from ketchup in South Africa contains pork. I get things like, let's move forward inshallah. I'll keep sharing more with you. Let's move forward and fill in the gaps a little bit. I get things, one of the things that I've been getting for the past 15 years. These emails continue to circulate and messages continue to circulate years and years after. One of the emails that I received, and probably you received it as well, is there was a picture that was sent of, the message came that in New York City, they are building a bar/nightclub that is shaped like the Kaaba. And they're going to call it the Kaaba bar or the Mecca bar or something like that. And this happened right after an incident where there was some legislation passed against Muslims after like the Second Patriot Act got ratified or something like that. So people are saying, look at this insult that we're getting as Muslims. Islamophobia is on the rise. And now you get an email in your inbox saying, look, they're building a Kaaba bar. And when you read it the first time, even the first time I read it, your blood starts boiling. You go, these people, look, how shameful are they? They just want to keep insulting our religion because you have care and concern for Islam. But that care and concern and love for the Prophet ﷺ, love for the Quran, love for Islam, it can be exploited and we should not allow it to be exploited. So what ended up happening was there was a picture of exactly a building, and it's a real picture. And it's in New York, and you can see the street signs, you can see the cars. It's a real picture of a building that looks like the Kaaba, and it's being built in the middle of New York City. And it says they're building this Kaaba bar, and you're just fuming and so upset. And what happened was, I still get this email. People forward this to me and they're like, can we organize a protest? This was like 10 years ago, right? This is done. This is old news, old information. You know what it actually was? It was an Apple store being built. And what happened was, Apple is a very secretive company. They like to keep their technology secret and then they reveal it with like, show and all of that. So what happened was, they boarded up, they were gonna build a square, kind of like a squarish, cubic style building, all glass. It's gonna be like a piece of art. It's gonna be a really nice work of art. So they boarded it up with black boards so it looked like a Kaaba, quote unquote. Someone took a picture, made up the story, and started circulating it around. And then at the end, what did they tell you? Send this to 10 people if you really love the Prophet ﷺ. Or if you don't send this to 10 people, you're going to have to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. These kind of things. It's blackmail. And none of this is true. And people say, if you don't send this dua to 10 people, Allah's going to curse you or something like that. We need to be more intelligent than this. We need to go above and beyond this. So don't fall into these type of traps. And what we can do is we can verify. How do you verify some of these things? Alhamdulillah, there's a blessing of technology. One of the ways to verify this, I'll just give you some hints. You take the message, and these messages are made up in a specific way. So you take the message, and you highlight, you copy some of the text from that message. So you take, for example, this girl who got burned alive in Madhya Pradesh in India, whatever. You highlight Madhya Pradesh, girl being burnt, few words before, few words after, and you paste it into Google. Or you go to Break the Chain, or you go to one of these other websites which actually look at Hoax Slayer, so many other websites out there. And they do the research for you, and they tell you where the origin is, where it's coming from, how legitimate it is. And you do it in a search engine, and you will find out a little bit more about the background of the story, and you'll be able to tell how credible this report is. You're not always 100%, but you can tell. Is the authenticity is like 2? Is it like 7? Is it 10? Is it real? So you can verify and find out how legitimate is this thing before you go and send it. Because when you send it, you can cause a lot of problems and cause a lot of potential damage. The last thing I want to talk about in a similar vein is, what if it is real? This is another problem that we have. You have an anti-Islamic website come out, and they're talking bad about Islam, and there's verses of the Quran out there, and they're twisting them out of context, and there's a lot of those. So what do some Muslims do? They'll take that and they'll send it to all their friends. Say, don't go to this website. This is a really bad website. And what's happening in the end of the day is you're actually giving them free publicity. You don't need, most websites, anyone can make a website in 5 minutes. It's not difficult. But the most difficult thing is to get people to actually come to your website and care enough to click on your website. And people pay for that. You have search engine optimization. People have these algorithms to get it in search engines and all that. It's hard to get people to come to your website. So what should we do with these websites? Let them die a natural death. Don't promote them. Don't spread the information out everywhere where you go and say, look, don't go to this website because you just promoted that website. And what most people are going to do, when you say don't go to this website, they're going to click on it, give them another hit, and then they'll be like, oh, their blood boils, negativity, and then they go home all stressed. So we need to be more careful about this. We need to be more intelligent about this. And we need to remember the verse of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to verify information when it comes from an unknown source. And if you say that, you know what, well, my friend sent it to me, or my brother sent it to me, and he's a reliable source, but where did that come from? Go back to the origin. Do you know the source? Is the source one that actually did some research? Is it trusted if it's verified? If it's not, be very careful at sending these messages, because they can cause much more harm than even you may possibly imagine. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us and guide us at all times in all things we do. Astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa li sa'ilil muslimin fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. I'm being asked if we can scoot in a little bit more. Inshallah, it'll make room for some more people, inshallah, if we can find the space. Alhamdulillah, today we talked about the importance of verifying information. And what we talked about, this verse from the Quran, is actually the basis of what's called the hadith sciences, or hadith verification. When it comes to things in Islam, we have to make sure that all of our knowledge or understanding about Islam is coming from the two foundational sources in Islam, and that is the Quran and the Sunnah, or what's known as hadith. The hadith make up the Sunnah, or the way of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. And what happens is that oftentimes people will take knowledge or information about Islam from sources which are not verified, or they're not accurate, or they're not authentic. And that happens a lot in two instances. One, when a verse of the Quran is taken out of context. The verse itself is accurate, but the context is wrong. The explanation is wrong. And we have to be careful about that. And the second is when a hadith, or a statement, or a saying, or a description, or an action of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is either taken out of context, or it's something that's very weak or fabricated, and then people build their action upon that. So we need to be a little bit more critical. And the best way to do that is, if you're in doubt about a hadith or you don't know what the source is, go to someone who can verify this information. This person, whoever you consult, it's like consulting a doctor. You consult someone who's been trained in the science of medicine. You want to go and check your eye, you go in someone who's been trained in the science of, checking the eye, optometry, or ophthalmology, or whatever you want to call it. So all of these things, we have to go to people who are specialists in that field. So someone who's specialized in the field of hadith, or specialized in the field of Islamic law, can verify these things for you. Again, even when it comes to forwarding messages, sending things, the month of Ramadan is coming. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to reach the month of Ramadan and benefit from the month of Ramadan, inshallah. So a lot of emails are going to be circulated in Ramadan and right before Ramadan about all sorts of different practices. And just keep in mind that we need to verify some things that are not very well known in the community. And also we need to increase in our Islamic education. You should try to attend some classes in person if they're having them in your local mosque, or go and attend some classes, drive a little bit distance, or try and take some online classes, or at least sit down with some knowledgeable people and learn something from them on a regular basis. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase us in our knowledge and our understanding. We ask Allah to help those people who are going through difficulties and those who are suffering. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all of our actions. We ask Allah to keep us sincere and purify our hearts. We ask Allah to help us live Islam in our lives and only take away our lives when we're ready to die in a state of true iman. Ameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa qim as-salat.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا اعتدلوا. Please make sure your line is straight, shoulder to shoulder. Let's not leave any gaps in between. Just keep moving forward, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Firstly and foremost, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Mustafa Omar, for this beautiful reminder. And given that our community has a WhatsApp group, inshallah, this will alleviate 95% of the messages in that group. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us all. And just in case you guys are interested, alhamdulillah, Sheikh Mustafa Omar is also the director of the California Islamic University that takes place at the Umar Farooq Masjid in Orange County. They have both in-person and online courses. So once again, we do have some information in the office. If you're looking to expand your knowledge, to grow as a Muslim, it's an amazing place to go to. Good classes, both online and in person. So stop by the office and we can give you more information. Jazakallah khairan once again. And the donation boxes as you exit are located on your left-hand side, just in case you forgot. Jummah Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum.